Welcome back to Essick Farms. So we got about 5 good days of sunshine, so we're going to start cutting hay. And I want to talk to you about how to find your own hay field, and is it worth cutting your own hay? So this field's done. It didn't take long. It don't take long with that 7-foot disc cutter. This is pretty good hay. Some of it's pretty thick. Yeah, it's got some thin places and some thick places, so it's pretty good. One thing about it with a tractor that's open is not a cab. You can kind of hold your mouth shut and your nose closed because there's so many bugs in there. They fly all over the place. But always forget to put that pin back in. So this year, for some reason, this field has a lot of this viney grass stuff in it, which the mower cuts pretty good, but I don't like that stuff. It gets hung around the mower, around the back side of the mower. I don't know what to deal with this stuff. So the second hay field is cut. It's probably around an acre. And there's a little field over across the road that I cut. This is a 5-acre field of mine, but I'm not going to cut it all. I'm just going to cut the front part here and let this part sit. But it looks pretty good. It's a pretty good hay field. I call this the valley because it looks kind of like it's got so many curves and different things, and it's kind of hard to cut at first if you don't know which way to go. But so we've got around 2 acres of hay on the ground, so that's a good start. And man, that first field, that was a really good field. That was good and thick on the bottom, and it was the middle was thick. The top corner was a little thin, but that was a really good field. And the first time I ever cut that field, I got 75 square bales off of it. So that's always been a really good field. The second field I cut, which was a valley, I wanted to cut in the middle of the valley, but it had that green viney stuff all through it. I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I guess I'm gonna have to go through and just cut it and hope it's not there for the next cutting. But it wasn't there last year, so I don't know. It just grew up really thick in there. The mower can cut through it, but it just gets hung on it, and you just got a big trail of vines behind you. So that's kind of a pain. But we went ahead and cut the front part of the valley, and that was pretty good. There's gonna be some hay in there, but I was really wanting to let that kind of grow up a little bit. Still got the back half of the valley to cut, and that's probably a good 3 acres. I'm gonna let that grow up as much as I can and cut it. So that should be a really good hay back in there. So we're a small farm, around 15 acres. And if you're like me and you have a small farm, you probably got something on every inch of it. So for us to make hay, we had to go off the farm and find hay fields. And you might be interested in that and say, how did you find those fields? Well, I want to give you a couple of examples of how I found my hay fields. So first of all, don't go to a realty company or call them because they don't care anything about trying to find you a hay field. They're more interested in selling land than they are looking for hay fields for you. So that was a dead end for me. But what did work was when I went to my local feed store, and everybody has a local feed store, and they got the bulletin board up there, and I went down and looked. I didn't see anything there, but I did ask the owner and if he knew anybody that had hay fields and were looking for somebody to cut it. And he said, yeah. So We called a guy up, and that was actually the 1 acre field that I cut this morning. But the bulletin board is a good idea too, because people come in from there, from all over buying feed and talking and stuff, and they may know people that have fields. So putting your name on that bulletin board saying you're looking for hay fields around the area, that is a excellent way to find a hay field. So another way to find a hay field goes by that old saying, it's not what you know, but who you know. So if you know farmers and different people like that, you can have them keep your ears open and listen out for anybody that's wanting to rent or lease hay land to people. And that's kind of like the bulletin board. It goes back to getting your name out there and people starting to know that you're looking for hay fields. So another way is, if you drive around your area and you see a field that's grown up, looks like it hadn't been used in years, maybe you can go knock on the door. They may have never thought about letting someone use it as a hay field. And you say, that's crazy, but I tell you, I drive around, I see a lot of fields. I'm like, if that was closer to my house, I'd be wanting to cut hay on it. So let's answer the question, is it worth making your own hay? Well, first of all, let's go to the other side of buying hay. So when you're buying hay, you're taking out all the stress of making hay. You don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about is it going to grow. You don't have to worry about finding the time to cut it and rake it and bale it and put it in the barn. You're getting rid of all of that stress. Basically, you're taking your trailer, buying hay, coming home, putting it in the barn, and going in the house, and you're done. So that brings back the question, is it worth making your own hay? Well, to me, I think it is. If you can control enough land, and by control, I mean, when you say I'm gonna cut hay, it's yours until you don't want to cut hay anymore. If you can control enough land where you can justify buying hay equipment, then yeah, I think it is worth it. Now, it does come with all that stress of worrying about the weather and all that, and the time it takes. Everything has to be absolutely perfect for it all to work out, and everything like that. And I'm very stressed out during hay season because it's just a stressful time. But at the end of the day, you're making your own hay and you're making money. What's a round bale now? $45. A square bale is $4. So every time that baler opens and it kicks out hay, that's money that you're making. And after a while, you're going to make enough hay that you're going to start paying back all your equipment. And then after that, it's all profit. If you're buying hay, you're just going to keep putting money every year to buy hay, and it's going to feed your animals and everything, but it's not going to build up to where you're making a profit on it. You're just going to keep spending money. So in a couple of days, we're going to go rake the hay and bale it. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. Hit that thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment down below. Do you buy hay or do you make your own hay? And I appreciate you watching this. I hope you got something out of it. And we'll see you next time here on the farm.